In the sprawling, luminescent chambers of the Galactic Council, representatives from various alien civilizations gather, their forms casting strange shadows on the intricate mosaic floor. The Council, a conglomerate of species each possessing unique characteristics, buzzes with urgent low murmurs about a single controversial topic: humanity. At the high podium, the Salix representative, a tall, thin creature with translucent skin, raises a hand for silence. The chamber gradually stills, though an undercurrent of tension remains palpable. "We convene today," the Salix begins, its voice resonating through the translator devices, "to deliberate on a matter of utmost urgency: the emergence of humanity. This species, native to the planet known as Earth, has reached a technological and military prowess that concerns us all." Across the room, a robust Tyvark, known for their militant culture, scoffs. "Concern? They are mere infants in the cosmos. We have encountered and contained threats far greater." The Salix looks toward the Tyvark with a measured gaze. "Do not underestimate their capabilities. Our reconnaissance missions have reported that human warfare technology has evolved at an alarming rate. They have not yet reached the stars in force, but when they do—" "Fear-mongering," interrupts a feathered avialix from the other side of the room. "We've seen civilizations rise and fall. What makes these humans different?" Tom Hayes, a human observer granted special permission to attend this session, stands from his seat at the back. Dressed in the uniform of Earth's Global Defense Initiative, his presence is a silent testament to humanity's readiness to stand amongst the stars. He walks forward, his steps echoing slightly, feeling every representative's eyes on him. "If I may address the Council," Tom speaks, his voice steady, "I'm here not as a conqueror, but as a diplomat. Humans value peace, yet we will defend our sovereignty, as any of you would. We invite you to learn from us as we hope to learn from you." The room falls silent, considering Tom's words. Then, from the technological powerhouse of the galaxy, the Zeltron delegate, a being composed of integrated circuits and light, pulses a soft blue. "The Zeltron Consortium has studied Earth's digital archives extensively," the Zeltron says, flickering with streams of data. "Humans are indeed fast learners, adaptive and most crucially unpredictable. Their potential for both creation and destruction is vast." A grizzled old general from the Vraxian Empire, his scarred face evidence of many battles, leans forward, his voice gruff. "Then we are at a crossroads. Do we guide, control, or confront?" Tom looks from one face to another, understanding the gravity of his next words. "Think of us as allies, not adversaries. There is much more for us to gain together than alone." The Salix nods slowly, absorbing the tension in the room. "This council proposes a period of observation and limited engagement. We must understand humanity better, discern their intentions and their dreams." As the delegates murmur in agreement or dissent, the council president, a wise old Ulmarian, concludes, "Let this be the first of many discussions. We will monitor, we will engage, and we will prepare. For better or worse, the humans are a part of our galactic future." The meeting adjourns with a mixture of apprehension and curiosity. Tom returns to his seat, knowing he has given them something crucial to ponder. Humanity might be younger in the galactic stage, but they are ready, willing, and able to take their place among the stars. In the bridge of the Drexian scout ship Harbinger, Commander Thalrix stared at the holographic star map, his four eyes blinking in sequence, a sign of deep contemplation. The ship hummed quietly, nestled in the shadow of a small asteroid just outside the Sol system. "Zoom in on the third planet," Thalrix commanded. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Zerol, manipulated the controls, and Earth expanded in front of them, a blue and green jewel hanging in the vastness of space. "It's beautiful," Zerol murmured, his voice tinged with wonder. "Rich in resources, and the scans show diverse life forms." Thalrix nodded, his expression unreadable. "And intelligent life. The humans. The Council has warned about their aggressive tendencies. We must tread carefully." "Commander, if I may," Zerol began, hesitant. "Why not initiate contact? If they are as intelligent as we believe, they might welcome peaceful exchange." Thalrix considered this. "It's a risk, but maintaining a distance could be interpreted as surveillance or hostility. Prepare a diplomatic team, and get me Tom Hayes." Below on Earth, Tom Hayes was in his laboratory, overseeing the final tests on a new defensive satellite network. His communicator buzzed, and he frowned when he saw it was an encrypted signal from the Drexians. "Mr. Hayes, this is Commander Thalrix of the Drexian scout ship Harbinger. We request a meeting to discuss potential peaceful relations between our people. Tom paused, the weight of the request settling on his shoulders. You understand the gravity of what you're asking? We do, Thalrix replied. We believe it to be in the best interest of both our civilizations. Give me your coordinates. I'll come to you. Tom's decision was met with mixed reactions from his team. Some were wary, others curious, but all understood the importance of this first contact. Hours later, Tom approached the designated meeting spot, a secluded area far from prying eyes. The Harbinger hovered silently above, its sleek metallic surface reflecting the moonlight. As Tom's shuttle docked, he was greeted by Thalrix and Zerol, both imposing figures in their ceremonial armor. They led him through corridors that hummed with alien technology to a room designed for diplomatic talks. Mr. Hayes, thank you for accepting our invitation, Thalrix began, his voice formal. We have observed your planet and your people from afar. Despite the Council's warnings, we believe that peace is possible. Tom sat, his gaze steady. Your observations must have shown you that while we are capable of war, we strive for peace. What exactly are you proposing? A mutual exchange, Zerol chimed in. Knowledge, technology, and a non-aggression pact. Tom considered their words. And what is your interest in Earth? Our resources, our strategic location? Knowledge, Mr. Hayes, Thalrix assured him. Your rapid advancements are intriguing. We hope to learn from each other. Tom nodded slowly, his mind racing with the implications. I will need to discuss this with my superiors, but I'm inclined to explore this path. As the meeting concluded, Tom felt the beginning of what could be a historic alliance or a catastrophic error. Only time would tell. But for now, the promise of peace hung in the air, as fragile and hopeful as the silent space surrounding them. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting a gentle orange glow over the sprawling military complex where Tom Hayes had spent the night in preparation. Today was the day that might change the course of human history. First contact with the Drexians in an official capacity. The chosen location was a remote military base, ostensibly for security, but also to demonstrate Earth's readiness to defend itself if necessary. Tom walked alongside General Carter, the appointed military liaison for the contact event, as they approached the landing area. The general, a seasoned officer with a reputation for his strategic mind, was unusually quiet. You think they'll go through with it? Tom asked, breaking the silence. They've come this far, Carter replied, his eyes fixed on the horizon where the Drexian ship was expected to appear. Let's just hope that all parties keep their composure. The whole world is watching. The Drexian ship, sleek and silver, broke through the early morning clouds, descending with an elegant, silent grace that belied its size. As it landed, a small crowd of military personnel, scientists, and diplomats gathered behind a secure perimeter, their eyes wide with a mix of fear, curiosity, and excitement. Tom felt a knot tighten in his stomach as the ship's ramp lowered with a hiss, revealing Commander Thalrix and his delegation. They were taller than any human, with a graceful, poised manner that made their armed escorts seem almost clumsy by comparison. As Thalrix approached, Tom stepped forward, extending his hand, a gesture they had agreed upon as a symbol of peace. Commander Thalrix, welcome to Earth, Tom said, managing to keep his voice steady. Thalrix took his hand, his grip firm. Mr. Hayes, thank you for this reception. We come in peace and hope for a fruitful dialogue. The formal greetings took place under the watchful eyes of the world's media, broadcasting live to billions of viewers. After the initial ceremony, the groups moved to a secure conference room where the real discussions would begin. Let's be clear, General Carter started, his tone more direct now that cameras were off. We need assurances. Your presence here could be seen as a threat if intentions are not transparent. Thalrix nodded, his four eyes narrowing slightly in understanding. We seek no conflict. Our primary interest is in cultural and technological exchange. We are explorers, not conquerors. Tom watched the exchange closely, aware of the multiple layers of subtext. He interjected, And what about your technology? There is much we can learn from each other, but also potential for misuse. How do we manage that risk? Zerol, who had been silent until now, spoke up. We propose a controlled sharing environment. Each technology can be assessed and released based on joint decisions. This is new ground for all of us. The talks continued, with each side cautiously probing the other's intentions and capabilities. However, the tension spiked when an aide hurriedly entered the room, whispering urgently to General Carter. Carter's expression hardened as he turned to address the room. We have an incident. One of your soldiers has been caught trying to breach a restricted area. The room fell silent as all eyes turned to Thalrix, whose composure seemed to falter for a moment. This must be a misunderstanding, Thalrix said, his voice betraying a hint of concern. We gave explicit orders against any independent exploration. We will handle this internally. Let's resolve this quickly, Tom suggested, trying to salvage the situation. An isolated incident shouldn't define this historic day. As the groups dispersed to handle the situation, Tom remained behind with Thalrix, both men aware that the success of this delicate mission hung precariously in the balance. The promise of peace was still alive, but now, more than ever, it was clear just how fragile it was. The atmosphere had shifted palpably since the incident at the base. Despite efforts to downplay the severity of the breach by one of the Drexian soldiers, distrust simmered just beneath the surface of the diplomatic exchanges. The Drexians, led by Commander Thalrix, were quick to discipline the errant soldier, but the damage to the nascent trust between the two species was evident. Back in his makeshift office at the base, Tom Hayes reviewed the security footage with General Carter and a team of advisors. The footage was clear. The Drexian soldier had been found in a highly sensitive area, one that housed part of Earth's advanced defense systems. It looks deliberate, Tom, Carter remarked grimly. Whether Thalrix knew or not, someone on their ship has intentions beyond peaceful contact. Tom rubbed his forehead, feeling the weight of the decision before him. We can't just let this slide. If we show weakness now, it could set a dangerous precedent. I agree, Carter replied. We need to show strength, but strategically. Escalating to a full-blown conflict should be our last resort. Tom nodded, his mind racing through scenarios. Let's increase our readiness levels and monitor their ship more closely. Any further step out of line. He didn't need to finish the sentence. The implication was clear. The military heightened its alert status discreetly, bolstering defenses without causing public alarm. However, as night fell, a cluster of unidentified signals suddenly approached from orbit. The radar technicians on duty scrambled to assess the threat, their screens blurring with the fast-moving objects. Commander, we have multiple inbound contacts, one technician called out, his voice tense. Trajectory suggests they're heading for major cities. Tom sprinted to the control room, Carter at his heels. The screen showed a grim tableau, a dozen small crafts descending rapidly from the Drexian ship, their intentions unclear but ominous. Without hesitation, Tom gave the order. Deploy interceptors, engage before they enter civilian airspace. The night sky was soon lit by the blaze of jet engines and missile trails. The human pilots, trained for quick response, met the Drexian crafts over uninhabited areas to minimize collateral damage. The ensuing battle was swift and brutal. Earth's technology had been honed over decades of theoretical war games and actual combat, giving them an edge over the Drexians, whose maneuvers suggested they were unprepared for the ferocity of human resistance. One by one, the alien crafts were shot down, falling like broken birds from the sky. On the bridge of the Drexian ship, Thalrix watched in horror as his scouting crafts were decimated. Cease all offensive actions immediately, he ordered, his voice echoing through the ship. This was a reconnaissance mission gone wrong. But the message came too late. The Earth forces, once engaged, were relentless. In the control room, Tom watched the last of the alien crafts crash, a mix of relief and sorrow washing over him. We need to communicate with Thalrix, Tom said, his resolve firm. This can't escalate further. We need answers now. A tense communication followed, with Thalrix expressing his apologies and confusion. This was not our intention, he insisted. There must be factions within my crew acting independently. We do not seek war with humanity. Tom listened, skeptical but aware of the stakes. Stand down and prepare for a boarding party. We need to verify your intentions directly. As the dust settled and dawn approached, Tom prepared to lead a team onto the Drexian ship, each step into the unknown driven by a desperate hope for peace, but backed by the undeniable readiness for war. The aftermath of the skirmish left a ripple of tension that spread far beyond Earth's atmosphere. As the dust settled, the incident between the Drexian scouts and Earth's defense forces was swiftly communicated back to the Galactic Council, causing a stir of urgent meetings and rapid exchanges across numerous civilizations. In the Grand Council chamber, now under the harsh glare of emergency lighting, representatives from various star systems convened in a hastily arranged session. The mood was somber, the previous underestimations of humanity's capabilities now painfully apparent. The Salix delegate, its skin shimmering nervously, addressed the assembly first. The aggression shown by humanity was not merely defensive, but overwhelmingly destructive. This encounter may well have set a precedent for how Earth intends to deal with extraterrestrial relations. Across the chamber, the Tyvark representative, his voice gruff with concern, countered, "Or perhaps it is a sign that we must approach them with more caution and respect. We provoked a response. What did we expect?" Amidst the debate, news of the skirmish and Earth's formidable display reached other civilizations, some of which had remained neutral or even skeptical of the Galactic Council's warnings about humanity. The Zeltron, beings of light and circuit, suggested a strategic reevaluation. Human technology, particularly in warfare, has proven highly advanced. We recommend a coalition to share intelligence and possibly coordinate a defense strategy should Earth's aggression expand beyond their solar system. The notion of a coalition gained traction. One by one, species with varying capabilities and histories of conflict voiced their readiness to join. A collective strategy began to form, not just for defense, but to establish a framework to contain what many now viewed as a potential threat to galactic peace. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Tom Hayes stood in the control room of the Drexian ship, surrounded by his team and a tense Drexian crew. Commander Thalrix, his stature imposing yet visibly shaken, communicated with his superiors via a secure channel, his voice a mix of frustration and urgency. "I assure you, the actions taken were unauthorized. We are handling the rogue elements within our ranks," Thalrix explained, trying to salvage the deteriorating situation. Tom, observing closely, spoke up. "Commander, our objective here isn't to escalate tensions, but to understand and prevent future incidents. We need transparency and cooperation." Thalrix nodded, his 4 eyes meeting Tom's gaze. "Agreed. I propose a joint investigation into the incident, with open sharing of findings. It's the only way to maintain any semblance of peace between our species." Back at the Galactic Council, as plans for a defensive coalition crystallized, an urgent message from Earth interrupted the proceedings. Tom, standing solemnly beside Thalrix, addressed the assembly via a live feed. "Leaders of the Galactic Council, we on Earth are aware of the discussions taking place. Let it be known that our actions, while defensive, were not intended as a declaration of war. We acted in response to a perceived threat. We are committed to peace and willing to engage in dialogue to resolve this situation." The chamber fell into a tense silence as the implications of his words settled. Here was Earth, a newcomer to the galactic stage, displaying a blend of military strength and diplomatic outreach, challenging the preconceptions of many seasoned civilizations. As the session adjourned, the council members were left to ponder their next steps. The urgency to form a united front was clear, but so was the need for a diplomatic channel to Earth. The balance of power had shifted, and the galaxy watched, wary and watchful, as a new player emerged on the cosmic stage. The coalition of alien civilizations, now unified under a tentative alliance spurred by the Galactic Council, prepared for a decisive show of force. The strategy was clear: a demonstration of power to deter any further human aggression and to secure Earth as a neutral zone without direct conflict. On Earth, as the threat of an impending alien invasion became evident, Tom Hayes found himself at the forefront of the defense initiative. Global forces were mobilized, and alliances that had once been tense due to terrestrial politics were now solidified by the common threat from the stars. In the command center, Tom reviewed the latest satellite imagery showing the coalition fleet amassing just beyond the moon. His team, a blend of military strategists and scientists, worked tirelessly to anticipate and counter the alien tactics. "Looks like they're forming a blockade," noted General Carter, pointing at the screen displaying a complex array of ships encircling Earth. "Their plan might be to isolate us, cut off any potential support from the space stations or our own satellites." Tom nodded, his eyes never leaving the screen. "We won't let it come to that. Prepare the I.O. and disruptors and ready the orbital defense platforms. If they make a move, we hit them hard." The tension escalated as reports came in of small skirmish ships testing Earth's defenses, probing for weaknesses. Each encounter was met with precision and force, with humanity showcasing not just their advanced weaponry, but also their readiness to defend their home. Suddenly, the main screen flickered, switching to a live broadcast from the Coalition command. A creature with a serene, almost translucent face appeared, its voice calm yet carrying an unmistakable threat. "People of Earth, we are the Galactic Unity. Surrender your arms and submit to the Coalition's authority, or face consequences. You have 2 hours to comply." Tom's response was immediate and resolute. This is Tom Hayes of the Earth Defense. We will not surrender. We are prepared to defend our planet and our sovereignty. I urge you to reconsider your position." As the deadline approached, the alien fleet launched a full-scale assault. The sky lit up with the blaze of energy weapons and the roar of engines. Earth's response was swift and devastating. Guided by Tom's strategies, the defense platforms unleashed a barrage of firepower that lit up the atmosphere, destroying dozens of incoming ships and sending others into retreat. The battle was fierce and unforgiving. Earth's forces, under Tom's leadership, exploited their home advantage, using the atmosphere and magnetic fields to disrupt alien navigation systems. The coalition forces, unprepared for the ferocity and ingenuity of human resistance, found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. As the alien fleet began to falter, messages of dissent and confusion were intercepted from the enemy's communications. It became clear that not all members of the coalition supported the decision to invade, and the unity began to fracture under the pressure of the unexpected resistance. Leveraging this discord, Tom initiated a bold counteroffensive, targeting the coalition's flagship with a series of precise strikes. The destruction of the flagship served as a critical blow to the alien morale and strategic command. In the aftermath, as debris from the shattered alien armada orbited the planet, the remaining coalition forces withdrew, their resolve broken. The invasion had failed, and Earth had stood its ground against a threat that had united once divided nations on the planet. Tom, standing amidst the cheers and relief of his team, knew that while they had won the battle, the war for peace and recognition among the stars was just beginning. Earth had sent a clear message to the galaxy. Humanity was a force to be reckoned with, united in the face of adversity. After the stunning defeat of the Galactic Unity's forces, Earth's atmosphere was charged with a mix of triumph and solemnity. The victory had been decisive, but the cost was evident in the debris fields that now orbited the planet and the scores of wounded and lost. Tom Hayes, standing amidst the remnants of the command center, felt the weight of every decision he had made. In the weeks following the invasion, Earth's leaders convened to reassess their place in the galactic community. Tom, having been at the forefront of the defense, was now a key voice in these discussions. "We need to be proactive," Tom asserted in a meeting with global defense heads. "We've shown that we can defend ourselves, but now it's time to ensure we never have to do it under these circumstances again." His proposal was bold: a series of deep space monitoring stations, coupled with diplomatic missions aimed at rebuilding bridges with civilizations that had been part of the coalition. Not all were in favor of the invasion, Tom reminded them. There are potential allies out there. We need to find them. As Earth began its recovery and fortification efforts, news of their victory and the manner of their defense spread across the stars, reaching ears in the farthest corners of the galaxy. This shifted the galactic narrative. No longer was Earth seen merely as a rogue, warlike planet, but as a formidable power capable of both great defense and, potentially, valuable partnership. In a move that shocked many, several smaller civilizations reached out to Earth, seeking to learn from their technology and to establish trade and mutual defense agreements. These overtures were cautious but genuine, signaling a shift in galactic dynamics. Meanwhile, Commander Thalrix, who had witnessed the capabilities of humanity firsthand, returned to the Galactic Council with a message of caution and counsel. "We underestimated them," he admitted in a session that would echo through the annals of galactic history. "Their technology, their will to survive, and their tactical genius. We must rethink our approach to humanity." Tom, invited to speak before the Council via a secure transmission, took the opportunity to extend an olive branch. "Earth does not wish further conflict," he addressed the assembly, his image flickering slightly in the vast, dim chamber. "We seek peace and mutual respect among the stars. Let this be a new beginning." Back on Earth, the construction of the Aegis Array, a network of defensive satellites and monitoring stations, progressed rapidly. Tom oversaw the project, ensuring that each node not only served as a shield, but also as a beacon for communication and diplomacy. The climax of Earth's strategic shift came when a combined fleet of Earth and its new alien allies conducted a series of maneuvers, not as a show of force, but as a demonstration of unity. These maneuvers were broadcast across the galaxy, showcasing a coalition based on mutual respect and shared interests, fundamentally different from the forced unity of the Galactic Council's coalition. As the galaxy watched, it became clear that Earth was no longer an isolated or rogue element, but a key player in shaping the future of the galactic community. The tide had turned, not just in terms of military might, but in the perception and politics of the galaxy. Humanity had not only secured its survival, but had begun to carve out its role as a leader on the cosmic stage. Chapter 8. The Aftermath. The galaxy was forever changed. The failed invasion, followed by Earth's surprising outreach and strategic alliances, reshaped the interstellar landscape. Tom Hayes, once a military tactician, found himself increasingly in diplomatic roles, representing Earth in forums that were once beyond human reach. In the sprawling new Galactic Council chambers, a more inclusive and balanced assembly than ever before, Tom sat among delegates from across the stars. The previous aggression had given way to cautious cooperation, and now the Council was in session to formalize the new roles and relationships. "We are gathered here to recognize and ratify the new galactic treaties," announced the Ulmerian president, a figure respected for wisdom and fairness. "These treaties are not just about delineating borders or regulating trade. They are about acknowledging our shared vulnerabilities and strengths." Tom listened, reflecting on the long journey that had brought him here. Beside him, Commander Thalrix, now an ally, whispered, "It's a new era, Tom. Thanks to your leadership, we're part of something bigger than any of us imagined." Tom nodded, his thoughts turning to those lost in the conflict. "It's a heavy responsibility," he replied softly. "One we share now to ensure the peace lasts." As the Council proceedings continued, Earth was officially welcomed as a full member of the Galactic Council. The decision was met with applause, a sound that resonated through the chamber and symbolized the unity that had seemed so improbable just months before. Following the session, Tom returned to Earth, greeted not just as a hero, but as a visionary who had steered humanity through its darkest hour into a position of respect and power. Cities across the world celebrated peace, their skies bright with fireworks and filled with hope. However, beyond the celebrations, Tom was focused on the future. At the newly established Earth Space Command Center, he reviewed plans for joint exploration missions and collaborative scientific endeavors. "Our next challenge is to maintain this peace and build on it. We've got the tools and the allies. Let's make sure we use them wisely," he addressed his team. The legacy of the conflict and Earth's response was a testament to human tenacity and ingenuity. Educational programs and cultural exchanges flourished, with young humans and aliens learning side by side, sharing their worlds and dreams. Years later, Tom stood at a memorial dedicated to those who had fallen during the invasion. He watched as children, human and alien alike, played around the monument, their laughter a balm to the still aching memories of the past. Turning to leave, Tom felt a hand on his shoulder. It was Thalrix, who had come to pay respects. "You once said that the true power of humanity lies not just in its weapons, but in its ability to forge a path forward. You were right, my friend." Together, they looked out over a peaceful Earth, its cities thriving and its skies clear. The challenges of the past had given rise to a future full of potential. Humanity had not only secured its place in the galaxy, but had become a beacon of what could be achieved when different worlds stood together, united not by fear or power, but by mutual respect and shared goals. As the sun set, casting long shadows over the memorial, Tom felt a profound sense of responsibility and hope. The galaxy was watching, and Earth was ready to lead by example into a future as vast and promising as the universe itself.